Designing obviously is a business that changes from season to season. The customer has to have an emotional connection with the product.
Tamara Mellon is here. She launched the luxury shoe line Jimmy Choo in 1996. Jimmy Choo shoes soon became synonymous with glamour, sophistication, and celebrity. Over the next 15 years, Mellon built the company into a billion-dollar brand. For many, she also emerged as the living embodiment of its stylish ethos. She looks back at her life and her career so far in her new book. It is called In My Shoes. I am pleased to have her here at this table for the first time. Welcome.
Thank you.
When you were at Jimmy Choo, what was the driving idea?
It was, for me, it was two things. It was about my freedom, my independence, and really buying my freedom from a crazy family. I was motivated by fear, but then I was also so incredibly passionate about creating the product.
But what did you want to do different about the product?
What would I do different?
Yeah, what did you want to do? You want to create a product that is different in the following ways. You want to create a product that would stand for something special. What did you want it to stand for?
I wanted it to stand for quality, innovation, luxury, a sense of fun.
Yeah. And when you look at what you do, I mean, you consider yourself more on the creative side or on the business side, someone who has an instinct for what that represents, style and fashion, or someone who simply says, I can help someone else define that. I know how to take it and create a sustaining business.
I'm afraid I do both, which is quite rare. Normally you don't find a creative head being able to,
you know, they generally hire
the
somebody
business.
to do that.
Yes. Yeah. I choose not to operate the business today. Like in the first 5 years of Jimmy Choo, I was CEO and the creative director.
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite rare. I understand both worlds. And funnily enough, when I did private equity, you know, it's a very tough line to walk in between two worlds that don't understand each other.
And what was the greatest misconception about you when you were at Jimmy Choo, you think?
I think there's a misconception about all women who work.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of myths that actually I'd like to, get rid of today. She's not a team player, she's difficult, she's a diva, and I think those are about all women who work.
And the whole notion, if she is half as aggressive as those men are, she's called pushy.
Exactly.
You know, all of that. Are we overcoming that in your judgment? This perception we have women, because more and more women occupy CEO positions and positions of authority in our society?
I think not enough. I think we need more women in leadership. I didn't realize the gender challenges that I was going to face when I started Jimmy Choo. I had no idea. I wanted to make beautiful shoes. I didn't know I was going to be dealing with investment bankers and a world of finance.
And what was the gender challenge? They didn't take you seriously?
No, as a woman, you're not taken seriously. You're pretty considered, oh, that stupid little girl over there. We're kind of wielding this spreadsheet here.
We understand money, she doesn't, right? She's just having fun and playing a game. Yeah. And how did you overcome that? By simply being good?
Well, you keep producing results. And I never overcame it. The way I overcame it is I've started my own brand today, which is going to have a different corporate culture.
Yeah. So why did you leave Jimmy Choo?
There were several reasons. I've been through 3 private equity deals, and no management team can sustain that. In fact, I learned a lot about it. I think that it's become something that it was never meant to be.
It became something what?
Private equity has become something that it was never
I see.
meant to be.
Right.
Sorry.
You know, they come in and buy a company, think they can change it and then sell it for more than they bought it for. This is essentially the business model. Well,
that's the idea, but also I think when the pioneers started, when you take people like Ted Forsman or the partners at KKR or Steve Schwartzman, they didn't want to come in and flip something every 2 to 3 years for their fees.
Right.
They bought a company, and Ted, I had many conversations with him about this, they bought a company because they felt passionate, and they would hold it long term, and they would nurture it, and they would be involved. What's happened with the later generations, they just want to flip companies for their fees, and management can't sustain that.
You're also frank about your personal life here.
Yes.
Where does that come from? I mean, basically, I think to many people, surprisingly open about your life.
When you grow up in an alcoholic home, it's all about keeping secrets.
Yeah.
And it's those secrets that keep you sick. You can't tell anybody the truth. And I thought, if I'm going to write a book, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell the truth. And it felt great to tell the truth. Because
what truth did you want to tell beyond that of the alcoholic mother? What truth did you want to tell?
It was the truth of the journey from childhood until now, and I thought if I could inspire and give anybody help about myself recovering from alcohol and drug addiction, starting a luxury brand, going through private equity deals.
And today, when you look at what Tamara Mellon fashion, is the idea it had to be that name because we live in a world of branding, you know, and I want to build something, but I want to build it with that brand.
Well, I already had a brand from building Jimmy Choo. Right. I had name recognition, even though I wasn't the brand, but certainly enough to start. It was a good platform to start from. And I think why not, why not use your own name?
Yeah, that's my idea too.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it's just the easiest thing in the world to do. You know, I mean, and everybody, finds that, and it also makes you conscious if you use your own name. It makes you conscious of the fact that you want to make sure that it's not tarnished, or you have a higher motivation not to see it tarnished by things that ought to be beneath what the name represents in your own mind.
Exactly. I mean, I was like that before, but I was very, I'm very detail orientated. But exactly, with your own name on it, you're very motivated to make sure it's good.
You want to create a new model in the fashion world. What's the model?
The model is monthly deliveries. Now, that may sound like a very simple idea, but what's happened to the fashion business? Fashion show goes online.
Yes.
And everybody sees it, but it takes 6 months for the product to get to the store. When I started in the early 90s, the only people who saw fashion shows were press and buyers. The customers saw it when it was in a magazine and went into the store. So there's sort of like, well, I've been looking at it for 6 months, not so exciting. I want the next new thing. And the calendar has changed. Department stores have pushed designers so much to get their product first, to be competitive and sell it first. You're now getting coats in July. And I don't know any woman who wants to buy a coat in July or a spring-summer dress.
Tell me how pervasive you think online shopping and e-commerce will become. Because we look at the overwhelming success of Amazon, not just, and the number of different products it now sells. It's extraordinary, And most of the people I know now, at least 50%, if not more, of their shopping is online.
Anyone under 35 is shopping online. It's the biggest opportunity. And I think a lot of the fashion industry look at it the wrong way. They look at it as one store. You have to look at it as a chain of stores. You have to look at it as a flagship in every major city in the world.
The book is called In My Shoes. It's a memoir about Tamara Mellon, co-founder of Jimmy Choo. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. See you next time.